One of the biggest risks to businesses is malware, and each day, hundreds of thousands of these harmful programs are found. Furthermore, not all malware strains exhibit the same behaviors. There are worms made to replicate themselves and take over networks, as well as ransomware that may lock up your data and entirely shut down a system. If you're not vigilant, a single malware assault could result in significant losses for your company. But how much harm can malware actually do? In this video, we are going to talk about 10 most dangerous viruses in the world. So before starting, please like this video and this channel for our future updates. Number 10. Melissa. In March of 1999, the Melissa virus was unearthed for the very first time, and it rapidly disseminated across the general public through a variety of internet forums and emails that provided free login credentials to adult websites. The malicious software would launch itself whenever the user opened the infected file, which was a Microsoft Word document with a macro that, when run, would launch another malicious application. This was the method through which the virus spread. If macros were enabled, Melissa would send an email to the first 50 contacts in the address book that belonged to the user of Outlook. Devices that had been infected with the malware experienced performance issues and sent out numerous spam emails. The virus was not required designed to steal enormous amounts of data. Rather, it was intended to cause damage to as many computer networks as it could. As a matter of fact, Melissa propagated at such a rapid speed that it was able to overwhelm and knock down the email systems of more than 300 significant companies located all over the world. The results of forensics research indicate that the costs of recovering from the attack on a global scale were at least $80 million. Number 9. ILOVEYOU. The ILOVEYOU virus, also known as the love letter or the love bug virus, was discovered for the very first time in May of the year 2000. Other names for this virus include lovebug. The malicious software was distributed as an attachment in emails with the subject line, "I love you," which were then sent to millions of users. Each of these emails was addressed to the recipient directly. After it was activated, it spread to every contact in the Microsoft Outlook address book of a user and overwrote particular files, such as JPG and MP3 files, stored on the hard disk. You could get an idea of how widespread the use of ILOVEYOU is if you consider the number of businesses that, at the time, put their complete trust in Outlook to manage all of their email needs. A study of the aftermath of the virus indicated that it affected more than 45 million machines over the course of 10 days and caused damages that were estimated to be somewhere around $10 billion. Number 8. Code Red. Code Red is a computer worm that was built with the goal of exploiting serious flaws in the Internet Information Services web server that was developed by Microsoft. Reports indicate that in July of 2001, Code Red carried out an attack on more than 350,000 web servers, which resulted in the defacement of website pages with messages such as "hacked by Chinese." Because worms can copy themselves and spread to other computers within the same network, this attack was able to quickly and widely spread. Worms are able to do both of these things because they are self-replicating programs. It is anticipated that the costs associated with recovery and damage repairs will amount to a total of $2.75 billion as a result of this incident. Number 7. Klez. The malicious software known as Klez was found for the first time in October of 2001. It was able to exploit flaws in Microsoft email clients and spread itself to all of the contacts that were stored in the address book on an Outlook user's computer. Worse yet, it had the potential to become a polymorphic virus, which would mean that it would be able to keep changing its code in order to avoid being detected by antivirus software. This would be extremely problematic. This would make an already difficult position even more precarious. Klez was a worm that was created by multiple hackers, which led to it having multiple variants that were extremely challenging to eradicate. A total of tens of billions of dollars worth of damage was incurred as a result of the worm's successful infection of around 7 million systems across the globe. Number 6. Sobig. Not only was the Sobig worm a self-replicating worm, but it was also a Trojan horse, which is a piece of malicious software that masquerades as a legitimate program. In 2003, the Sobig worm was propagated through a bulk email chain with seemingly innocuous subject lines, such as "thank you" and "approved." If it were downloaded, the worm would activate and search the host computer's files for email addresses to send spam to before it would delete itself. Because of the enormous breadth of Sobig, it was able to infect computer systems all over the world, including those in North America, Europe, and Asia. Number 5. Mydoom. In 2004, Mydoom was responsible for more than $38 billion worth of losses, making it one of the most destructive pieces of malware in history. Another form of mass mailing computer worm, it was similar to Sobig in that it stole email addresses from machines that it infected and then delivered itself to those stolen addresses. The worm was also able to use the entire network of infected computers to launch distributed denial-of-service attacks, also known as DDoS attacks. These attacks essentially involve flooding the target websites and servers with so much traffic that they are rendered inoperable. In point of fact, Mydoom is still operational in the present era, serving as a tool for some of the more recent phishing scams. Number 4. Sasser. During the year 2004, another computer worm known as Sasser targeted computers running the Windows XP and Windows 2000 operating systems. A flaw in the local security authority subsystem service, which is in charge of managing user logins and credentials, allowed it to propagate rapidly and was the cause of its rapid proliferation. Due to the fact that the worm was responsible for blue screens and crashes on millions of computers, several companies decided to turn off their networks until the problem could be resolved. Number 3. Zeus. Zeus is a form of malware known as a Trojan horse. Its purpose is to steal sensitive personal and financial information such as passwords and bank account details. It was found for the first time in 2007 and was shown to be responsible for roping affected devices into a botnet, which is a vast network of computers controlled by hackers. The botnet was used by cybercriminals to steal money from large organizations and financial institutions. It was estimated that the Zeus Trojan caused approximately $70 million in financial harm, but experts feel that the costs connected with recovery might be substantially greater. Number 2. Stuxnet. It wasn't until 2010 that researchers uncovered the computer worm known as Stuxnet, which had been used extensively in the context of cyber warfare. It propagated by USB drives that had been compromised. The malicious software was developed with the intention of infiltrating industrial control systems. These are the kinds of systems that are used to manage manufacturing facilities and nuclear power plants, among other types. Because it was so effective, the computer worm known as Stuxnet was able to seize control of Iran's nuclear centrifuges and cause them physical harm. Stuxnet demonstrated how sophisticated malware is capable of physically affecting key infrastructure, but the financial damage it caused was not nearly as severe as that caused by other forms of malware. Stuxnet was able to physically affect key infrastructure because it was designed to do so. Number 1. WannaCry. The WannaCry ransomware strain was first discovered in May of 2017, making it one of the most notorious in history. WannaCry was designed, just like the vast majority of ransomware, to encrypt data on systems that it infects and then demand payment from the users of those computers. Nonetheless, the malicious software was exceptional in that it exploited flaws in older versions of the Windows operating system in order to rapidly spread throughout computer networks. Almost 230,000 systems in more than 150 countries were hit by ransomware, which caused big enterprises and healthcare organizations losses totaling billions of dollars. Around $4 billion worth of property damage is thought to have been caused by the WannaCry ransomware attack, and new variants of ransomware are continuously being generated using its source code. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.